Rosie O'Donnell just revealed something no one expected her to actually say publicly. The true reason Ellen left the US and wrapped up her show is far darker than most people assume. And once you start putting the pieces together, it all begins to make sense. Ellen's executive producer, Twitch, along with her former partner, Anne Heche, both passed away under mysterious circumstances within 6 months after the Ellen show ended. And reportedly, Ellen was connected.
I have an understanding of the cycle of show business and kind of what happens in people's careers and when enough is enough. And oftentimes people don't know that. I think I have a good balance of both in my life, of the importance of both. And it's hard to maintain. It's hard to do, especially when you're doing a show like that. But, I don't think it was the be kind thing that got her. I think that's simplification, but it was a lot of things and it was complicated. And I'm glad that she's, going to be finished and she can get some time to herself to just, it's a huge kind of strange thing to be on a show like that and have all that attention on you. And she had it for like 19 years. So
Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen were very close friends for years, with Ellen even publicly coming out on her show back in 1996, but now they hardly speak. Rosie is now revealing what truly went wrong between her and Ellen and why she chose to step away from the spotlight. The Ellen show lasted for over 20 years, yet Rosie was never invited. In May of 2022, Ellen's 2-decade run collapsed after she was exposed for creating a toxic work environment and mistreating her employees. Ellen ended her show, and just months later, her ex-girlfriend Anne ended up dying in a car crash. In December of that same year, Twitch also committed suicide.
Ellen DeGeneres is speaking out about reports of workplace mistreatment in a letter to her staff. The talk show host shared her initial reaction to the allegations from current and former employees and revealed what actions are being taken to improve company culture. Ellen said she was disappointed to learn about the claims in a recent BuzzFeed article, citing the show's enormous growth over the years and her increased reliance on people to do their jobs as they knew I'd want them done. She went on to acknowledge that clearly some didn't.
I don't think you achieve anything by bullying people.
In a statement to ET, Warner Brothers, the studio behind Ellen's show, claims they have interviewed dozens of current and former employees in the wake of these allegations. They say that during their investigation, it was revealed that there were some deficiencies related to the show's day-to-day management. And that moving forward, the studio and Ellen are committed to creating a workplace based on respect and inclusion.
I stay grateful and I try to stay humble, and I think that I pay attention to what is important and what is real.
These misconduct allegations stem from a BuzzFeed article that was published last week, which included anonymous accounts from a dozen former and one current employee.
2 months after the Ellen show ended, Stephen Twitch Boss, executive producer of the Ellen show, took his own life and left behind a note. Multiple investigative journalists have claimed that in this note, Stephen pointed to Ellen as the reason behind his death. Even Stephen's wife said that he was under intense stress over something that happened on the show, and that pressure is what led him to take such a devastating step.
Learning more tonight about the tragic side of Stephen Twitch Boss and the detailed steps he took to hide his plans. TMZ is reporting when Twitch left his home the day before his he took an Uber to a motel about a mile away. At the motel, he switched his phone to airplane mode so no one could reach him. The motel manager says he checked in under his own name and never left his room. We also now know that Twitch left a suicide note. Details have not been made public, but TMZ reports the note alluded to challenges Twitch had faced in the past. Entertainer Tyler Perry knows firsthand what that is like.
I want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit suicide a couple of times because it was so dark. I thought the only way to make this better, this pain go away, is to end my life. Had any of those attempts happened, I would have missed the best.
Some sources claim that Twitch witnessed something happening behind the scenes that he wasn't meant to see, and that's what led to it. Twitch's wife, Allison Halker, revealed that Twitch left her a note before his death. In this note, Twitch spoke about the pressure Ellen was putting on him. Allegedly, Ellen wanted Twitch to help repair her image and claimed that all the workplace accusations against her were untrue. Fans trusted Twitch, and Ellen wanted to use that trust to her advantage. Twitch knew everything that was going on behind the Ellen show, and Ellen wanted to keep him quiet.
Early on the morning of Tuesday, December 12, Twitch packed a small bag with only a change of clothes and his handgun, slipped out of his house without telling Allison, turned his phone to airplane mode so he couldn't be tracked, and took an Uber to the Oak Tree Inn, a dreary two-story motel in a hacienda-style building on heavily trafficked Ventura Boulevard, just a mile from his house, and paid $107 to reserve a room for a single night. Twitch made his way down to room 249 and let himself in. Allison reported to police that Twitch was missing shortly after he had left the house, noting with particular worry that she couldn't reach him by phone, and he had not taken his car with him when he left, two things that she said were very much out of character for him.
Because there were no details about Twitch's death, people just rushed to fill that void. This was at the time when Ellen had built this edifice as the nicest person on television. She would have YouTube stars, and all of a sudden that edifice was crumbling.
The news about Ellen created a wave of online criticism at the time, including some directed at Twitch.
As for what really happens behind closed doors in Hollywood, Rosie O'Donnell once shared a story about how Bill Cosby had been invited to her show and began acting inappropriately toward the producers. His behavior was ignored because Hollywood has become used to it. Sexual misconduct is widespread in Hollywood and is sometimes even normalized. Several child actors have claimed they were taken advantage of when they first entered the industry. These actors were pressured to be intimate with music executives and film directors. If you wanted a role, you had to prove you were willing to do whatever the director or producer asked of you.
Hollywood managers who manage kids, it's a racket, man.
Did you hear that kid from Strange?
Grooming these kids, dude.
That kid from Strange Things. Stranger Things.
Yeah.
He just left his manager, and they're alleging sex abuse. They just left their agent. See if you can find that. Owen Benjamin,
the curly-haired kid. Oh, yeah,
and he's Owen Benjamin just put it on his Instagram today because Owen has been taking a lot of heat online because he said that a 3-year-old kid shouldn't be fucking transgender, and people giving him a hard time saying he's a bigot. Like, are you out of your fucking mind? When
What's up with this transgender?
Stranger Things actor dropped agent because of accused of assault. Disney star follows suit. Jesus Christ, this is nuts.
Watch
man.
An Open Secret, and they go through. Dude, they pick. They're accusing people. It's for free. I think on Vimeo.
Yeah, you can
watch it for free. An Open Secret.
Just on YouTube or something.
On Vimeo.
You know what Sturgill Simpson told me? He said the same thing exists in music.
What?
He said in music there's a bunch of pedos and pederasts
for sure.
in music as well.
The entertainment business all the way through. Music. This was about. This is about music and movies and TV. It's about the whole entertainment business.
Women and kids.
Mostly kids.
And sometimes dudes. You know, Terry Crews said that he was attacked. Well, not attacked. Some dude grabbed his dick
in front of his wife.
Some famous dude grabbed his dick.
Justin Bieber's name comes up whenever the topic of child actors being mistreated is brought up. Justin's 48-hour experience with Diddy and the ongoing harassment he dealt with from predators was disturbing, and instead of trying to support him, Ellen laughed at him. This was her reaction to teenagers' privacy being violated.
How quickly after that was shot did you realize that happened? Did that go on wire right away?
Yeah, it was pretty much like a couple days. It was like a couple days later, Scooter hit me. He was like, yo, I hate to tell you this, but your penis is on the internet. Mm-hmm. I was like, what? And so then the first thing I saw was like the censored one, and it had like the black thing over it, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I don't know what this is gonna look like, and then it wasn't as like bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like terrible.
Yeah. I'm no expert, but I heard that it was good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, what amazed me though is that got so much attention, and I was in the bungalow next to you, and when I saw it, I was shocked.
Yeah.
And I don't know how people didn't see. I was right there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
My hat. So there's a young woman in the background you can see in the bed.
Yeah, I know.
Is that your girlfriend?
No, it's not.
Just a girl that you were in Bora Bora with?
Yeah.
You just brought a friend to Bora Bora?
Yeah.
And you're just naked with your friend?
Why are you putting me on the spot like this? Gosh.
Then there's also the fact that Diddy appeared on Ellen's show 17 different times. And in her own words, Ellen said that she was aware of what Diddy was doing at his after-parties. The timing of Ellen leaving the U.S. also aligns with Diddy's arrest. In 2024, just a month after the FBI raided Diddy's Miami mansion, Ellen announced that she was leaving the U.S. permanently and relocated to the U.K. with her wife.
Is that going to be a new thing? Are you going to try to be early?
Yes, I'm trying to be early.
Are you going to be early for my party?
Yes, I am. No.
No.
You know I have to arrive fashionably late.
All right. Not too late, though.
Not too late?
Not too late, please.
What time would you like me there?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But not too late. Because you know, once you get there, the party really starts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I promise you I'm not gonna let you down on this big one.
All right,
For
good.
real.
Good.
Your shoes, your feet are gonna have blisters. You're gonna be dancing so hard.
I can't wait.
Simply moving to the UK isn't that suspicious, but the timing, the way Ellen completely altered her appearance and how she stepped away from the public spotlight does make you think. To make matters even worse, Ellen recently announced that she's planning to return. And believe it or not, this announcement came after Diddy filed for early release.
She sounded so sincere, didn't she?
Very sincere.
Virtually choke on her words. But the best one for me is Ellen DeGeneres, who is, by the way, a very nasty person. I've had dealings with her in Australia. Could I tell you some stories about that cow? But anyway, good riddance to her. But you know, she was quite friendly with that P. Diddy bloke, wasn't she?
Well, this is why I say release the Diddy files.
Yeah.
Release
So,
the Diddy
you know,
files. Come on, Donald Trump. We want to know whose name.
So maybe she's hightailing out of there before all that is thrown at her as well. But what a bunch of hypocrites.
Ellen DeGeneres and her wife, Portia de Rossi, have reportedly fled the US, bound for the UK, after Donald Trump's landslide victory. Numerous publications are reporting the couple have left the United States permanently. There are also reports the couple have put their Montecito mansion on the market. Entertainment publication The Wrap has the exclusive story and said, Ellen DeGeneres and wife Portia de Rossi have moved to rural England, put their Montecito estate on the market, and plan to never return to the United States, telling friends the election of Donald Trump was their primary motivation. Ellen DeGeneres has been a vocal Trump critic, so the move doesn't come as a surprise to most.
Some critics have highlighted Ellen's questionable behavior over the years, including her support for the use of human stem cells taken from babies. In an episode of her show, Ellen revealed that many celebrities use stem cells taken from younger people to stay youthful. Reports online have also connected Ellen's changed appearance to her no longer receiving these treatments after Diddy was arrested. In an episode with Sandra Bullock, Ellen and Sandra Bullock openly talked about the use of adrenochrome, extracted from children, and laughed about how it kept them looking young.
Let's talk about this facial that you're obsessed with. How many, did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do this?
Not everybody.
Okay, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, some of you, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the serum.
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra?
Sarah?
Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean.
Plus, who can ignore Ellen's alleged link to Epstein? Some fans believe that the set of Ellen's show was designed after a temple on Epstein's Island. While we're on the topic of strange things Ellen was seen doing, some sources online have even pointed to unusual symbolism hidden in some of Ellen's videos. In March 2020, right when COVID lockdowns began, Ellen DeGeneres posted a bizarre video wearing a hoodie with a red, blood-like face, the same face that Jay-Z was later seen wearing.
Symbolism will be their downfall. Or is it just art? And let me be the first to tell you, it's all connected. I mean, if you know, you know. But first, let's go back to that video of Ellen DeGeneres. When the camera turns, you can see the inside of her house. Now, see that picture right there? Well, if you pause it and look it up, it says evil thoughts with revenge right next to it. Here's another picture of Ellen in her house, and this is the picture behind her. Now, the thing I'm curious about is the letters on top of the picture. These look oddly similar to the letters Marina Abramovich writes out when she does spirit cooking. Remember the beginning of the video? It's all connected. And that person that was in all red is Lady Gaga, and she went to Marina Abramovich many times for teaching. But let's continue. This is another picture of Ellen in her home. She's cutting her mother's hair, but what is that picture above her head?
Look at it.
Oh, well, you know where that is too, right? The similar image to that, right?
No.
I know Jamie does.
What is it?
It's on the set of a famous talk show that's now not on anymore.
Oh, Ellen? Was that Ellen?
Yeah.
Really?
Just look at the temple and then look at the...
Let me see Ellen's background. What?
Ellen's entire public image was carefully constructed, and once her fans discovered what kind of person she really was, she lost everything. Joe Rogan actually predicted it years ago. He said that Ellen's personality always felt unnatural, like she was putting on a mask. Rosie O'Donnell was the first to point it out. Ellen's nice persona was always going to fall apart eventually.
Weird when you see, like, a lot of people saying that someone who seems so nice is not nice at all.
She doesn't seem nice, but that's people have a very poor judge of character. She doesn't seem nice. It seems forced. People that are like that all the time, she doesn't seem nice. It's very forced. And whatever, you're allowed to be a bitch, right? You're allowed to be a bitch. You're allowed to be nasty to people. You're accomplished. You're a comedian. You did the whole thing. What you're not allowed to do is have a Guantanamo Bay situation in the backstage of your show where everybody's walking around afraid for their life, and it's like Abu Ghraib where they're hooked up to wires and they
Dogs
have like
around them.
Yeah, she's got dogs and hoods. If an intern's late, they have a hood on. I don't support that. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I thought of you when Ellen DeGeneres went through her thing, and she goes, "My advice to everybody is, if you're going to be known as something, being known as the be kind lady is probably going to bite you in the ass." And I wondered what that whole queen of nice.
Yeah,
I
that
remember
did bite
thinking,
me in the ass. Yeah.
Did you think it bit you in the ass? I wasn't aware of that. But
Not in the way that Ellen's talking about, I think. But, I said the day it came out, look at this, the queen of nice. In a couple of years, it's going to be the queen of lice, the queen of fried rice, the queen of we don't like her anymore.
There's an arrogance that some stars had, like particularly in the 90s. When I first came to Hollywood, and this is like really evident for me because I was not a star, but I was on a television show. So I got to be around a lot of stars. And there was a way that some of them would treat you. They would let you know that you are subhuman. You are below them. They would communicate with you in the most disrespectful and dismissive ways, like weird, like mousy guys that I could kill, like instantly. And they would just be rude to you in a really weird way because they had power. They had power. And then when an executive would come over, they would turn on the charm. They'd be smiling and laughing. And then you would talk to them at the craft service and they would dismiss you in the shittiest ways. I encountered a bunch of that.
Yeah.
It was commonplace. And it was, I think, a thing that they aspired to.
It was the same with Ellen. Once Ellen became famous, she distanced herself from everyone and did whatever it took to remain on top. She didn't care what kind of people she had to be around or what she had to do to her staff. In 2020, a BuzzFeed News investigation released statements from over a dozen former employees who worked for Ellen, who described the workplace as toxic, reporting racism, fear, and intimidation from senior producers. One former employee said they were told not to speak to Ellen directly. Others said they were fired after taking medical or bereavement leave. Rosie O'Donnell shared how Ellen used to be her best friend, but she pushed her away as soon as her show became successful.
Couldn't believe it.
Why did she say that?
I don't know, because I have photos of her holding my newborn babies. I knew her for 30 years. Like, I don't know, Rosie, we're not friends. It was so upsetting to me that I had T-shirts made. I don't know, Rosie, we're not friends. And I gave them out to my staff because it was very painful. And, we've never sort of gotten over it.
Did she ever reach out to you to explain it or what her thinking was, or?
No.
I mean, I'm not the first person to say this, but she's a strange creature.
Well, we're not similar. I can say that for sure. We're not emotionally similar.
No.
And I was never asked to go on her show. When I was, it was long after they had been on for many years. And she had the same staff as my show, the same producers, the same everything. And now I don't blame her for doing that. I didn't create the genre of a Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas talk show. This was what I grew up watching. But I did think that she was all of a sudden in the position I was in, where she was starting a show and wanted it to be successful and get the money and the accolades that came with it. And instead of deciding to stand next to me and hold my hand, which is what I did to her, she did the opposite. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
By far the most shocking claim that Ellen has been linked to is the death of Anne Heche. Anne Heche was Ellen's ex-girlfriend, and according to sources close to her, Anne Heche was working on a documentary that was going to expose Ellen. However, before any details could be revealed, Anne suddenly died in a car crash 2 months after Twitch's death. The two people who knew the most about Ellen died within 2 months of each other, right after Ellen's show ended. This alone doesn't prove any wrongdoing, but the circumstances of both deaths are extremely suspicious.
Anne Heche gets in this accident, and I'm bereft. Now, how did I know her? She did my show twice, and she and Ellen came to my home in Miami and swam in my pool, and we had lunch once. So
Right.
I knew her, not really well, but in the celebrity vernacular, and that she was with Ellen for a while, and then how her career suffered, and her book, Call Me Crazy. There was a horribly tragic child abuse in that family, and I've always sort of felt sorry for her. So when she's dying and when that all happens, I'm legitimately bereft in a way that maybe surprised me. I'd wake up in the morning and think, oh my God, something's wrong. Oh, Anne Heche is in a coma. Like, it was obsessive to me. So she died tragically.
In May 2002, the Ellen DeGeneres show was canceled, and then 2 months later, Anne Heche, Ellen's ex-girlfriend, was in a really bad car accident where she flew her Mini Cooper into someone's house and it caught fire. And what has never sat right with me is the cross comparison between the coroner's report and the actual aerial footage. The coroner's report says that she was unconscious until her death, after just from smoke inhalation and from being brain dead from the fumes in her brain. But if you look at the footage, she sits straight up, and that takes a conscious effort, I feel, but I'm not a scientist. I mean, I'm not a doctor. But the other thing is her other host, her co-host Twitch, died 4 months after that. And I just think that that's a suspicious amount of close people around you dying in weird ways.
No one can ever truly know exactly what Ellen was involved in since both Twitch and Anne Heche are no longer here. But here's the thing, the rest of Hollywood is just as bad. Joe Rogan spoke out about allegations and patterns of abuse and predatory behavior in the entertainment industry and how common it is among child actors and young performers. Almost a decade later, after the truth about Diddy and Harvey Weinstein was revealed, it all turned out to be true here.
Let your kids be around weird agents and take them to auditions.
No, don't let your kids get into acting. Do not let your kids get into that.
Ever worked out?
Well, the other thing is look at what happened with that Sandusky guy. That guy was taking care of kids. His whole thing was hey, I do charitable work with children. I do charitable work and I take care of these kids. Yeah, I'm just all about helping kids. It's all about helping kids. They're our future. If you're an actress and you worked with Harvey Weinstein, you never tried to get your suckers. What is wrong with me?
Well, you ugly. Yeah, you ugly.
What is wrong with my face?
They're really going after him. That seems weird.
It doesn't seem weird, dude. Look at
Hell
all the
yeah, they're
people.
going after
that
him.
guy's entire business. Here's the thing. He's one of many. There's got to be a bunch of people that ran their business that way.
But Weinstein, they say in Hollywood, my agent's oh no, yeah, it's about time he got caught. I'm what the f? Everyone knew this?
Dude,
everyone knew.
Did you see his contract? It was in his contract. The way he had his contract set up was they had a certain amount of money that he would have to pay if he had a harassment claim against him. It was
it was a thing for him.
Yes. He had so many claims. That's first offense was $100,000. Second offense was $250,000. Third offense was $750,000. Fourth offense was $1 million. He had it written into his contract with Miramax. His contract with the Weinstein Company,
he owned Miramax, right?
I don't know. Explain that contract. He'd have to pay $100,000.
Yes. They're protecting themselves.
Oh, when they sign
harassment.
When they sign him, they go, okay, the first time one of these guys, it's going to be $100,000.
Yes.
Second time, it's $200,000.
It's not just. Yes, I mean it was.
That's
so,
how big of a problem it was.
It was such a huge. It was so known of what he would do, and look, even Quentin Tarantino said that he did it to his ex-girlfriend.
Here's the real question. How many others in Hollywood are hiding behind that same nice image? Because according to Joe Rogan, this isn't just about one person. It's an entire system. If you made it this far, you already know this story goes much deeper than what the media shows you. So hit subscribe because the next video breaks down another case that's even more disturbing. And trust me, you don't want to miss it.